What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Double G Gaming, and today I am bringing to you my Elimination Chamber 2019 predictions in a different way. I promised you guys I was going to do a scorecard. I was planning on having it on Wednesday, but of course, because I wanted to do a scorecard, What's Wrong with Wrestling decided to upload the little scorecard that you see here on Twitter a day later than usual. So, of course that would happen. But either way, I plan on doing another podcast right now, like after this, after my predictions. It's just gonna be on one topic though. I know there's been a lot of stuff, but I want to talk about the whole Charlotte situation and what my thoughts are on how people are reacting to it. So if you wanna check that conversation out, discussion out, wait after the scorecard predictions, and we'll talk about it after this. So as you can see, this is a scorecard format. I'm not gonna give you my full scorecard. What do you call it? I'm not gonna give you my full scorecard results. I'm gonna be uncovering them as we go. So right now, the whole scorecard should be blank to you guys, even though I already have it filled out. I did it beforehand just so I can get through it a little bit quicker. So we started off with the Cruiserweight Championship. Buddy Murphy taking on Akira Tozawa. I believe it is going to be Murphy. I don't know why they would put it on Tozawa right now. If they wanted to change the title, they would have done it at the Rumble. I don't see why they would do it now. And pin submission or other, I'm gonna say Buddy Murphy gets the pin. I don't know what his submission hold or what his finisher is, but I'm gonna say it ends in a pin. So at the end, I'm gonna be paying attention to like all these outcomes and stuff. So I'm gonna be grading myself or giving myself a score at the end. And if you guys want, I'll leave a link, or you guys can just screenshot the screen right now before I had all the results on it. But I'll leave a link for you guys if you want to fill out your own scorecard and go check out What's Wrong with Wrestling. Once again, I'm giving them a shout out, but whatever. I love their podcast. They're freaking hilarious. So go check them out. But yeah, you guys can fill this scorecard out, and then we can compare at the end in the next podcast, which should be coming out like next Friday or whatever. You guys can leave your results in the comments, and we'll compare. I'll give you my results at the end as well after the chamber. But let's keep this going. As you can see, all these results and outcomes have like scores and points to them, and it adds up to 183 points. So if you get everything right, you get a total of 183. So right now I have Buddy Murphy winning with a pin. So let's move on to the next one, which is for the Intercontinental Championship: Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush in a handicap match. I don't see how Finn Balor. I mean, this is the whole point. Like, why do they have two pay-per-views before WrestleMania? Because this kind of throws a lot of stuff in. Like, it makes storylines want to be stretched out, especially how WWE does stuff recently. They just want to stretch everything out as much as possible. So I think Lashley and Leo are gonna get the win here by whatever, by any means necessary, and by pin. I don't see Finn Balor tapping out. Moving on, SmackDown Tag Team Championship match: The Miz and Shane McMahon versus the Usos. I was thinking they were gonna do the Bludgeon Brothers here, but as you can see, Eric Rowan, as we know, Eric Rowan is with Daniel Bryan, so that didn't happen. The Usos, I do not see them winning here. I enjoyed their little promo on SmackDown, the Miz TV stuff. I enjoyed that, but I don't see Shane and Miz losing the titles yet. So that's what I'm going with. Shane and Miz by pin. Shane McMahon is going to get the pinfall on Jimmy Uso. I don't know which one is which, but I put Jimmy. Just let's see what happens. Moving on, Baron Corbin versus Braun Strowman in a no DQ match. It was made a no DQ match yesterday before this scorecard came or was made, I believe. So it doesn't have the no DQ stipulation, but I believe Braun Strowman is going to win this one by pin, and any outside interference, I'm saying yes. Either Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley come out and interfere against Strowman, but at the end of the day, Braun Strowman gets the win by pin. I don't think anybody wants to see this match, but whatever, we're getting it. Next up, Raw Women's Championship, and I thought the damn pay-per-views were getting co-branded, so we don't have to sit through these nonsensical, just thrown together matches. I get that they have a storyline between both of them, but this is still like a throwaway match that you just have on Raw. Anyway, moving on. Raw Women's Championship: Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott. Short and simple. Why would they take the title off Rousey? Rousey's gonna get the win by submission. Any outside interference? I'm gonna say no because Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan are in the chamber match, so I think they're gonna keep each other like this team separate from each other. I don't recall any stable like getting involved if a single person went for the championship and the other two were going for the title, and especially in a chamber match, like a gimmick match. So I think they're gonna stay away from each other. Maybe they come out with like I don't know how the Chamber and Raw Women's Championship are gonna be laid out, depending on how it is. But I still don't think any outside interference is just gonna be Rousey versus Wright. And but Charlotte and Becky Lynch could come out. But I'm sticking with no. I'm gonna stick with my gut, saying no outside interference. Moving on, Women's Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match: Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan versus Nia Jax and Tamina versus Mandy Rose and Sonya versus the Iconics versus Bayley and Banks versus Naomi and Carmella. Um, so this is a tough one because Sasha Banks keeps getting injured. I doubt that they have any faith in her. And Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan are damn jobbers. Same with the Iconics. Kind of the same with Mandy Rose and Sonya. And Naomi and Carmella were just teamed up to be in this match. So the only people left are Nia Jax and Tamina. So that's who I'm going with, Nia Jax and Tamina. And the way that they've been doing first ever champions recently or first ever tournament winners recently, they don't give it to the person that you think should win or deserves to win. As we saw with the NXT UK Championship tag team, I said tag team right? NXT UK Tag Team Champions. With the tournaments that they've done, the UK tournament with giving it to Tyler Bate instead of Pete Dunne, who they should have given it to. The cruiserweight tournament, they gave it to freaking TJP. What has he done lately? They should have given it to somebody else. But yeah, Nia Jackson, Tamina, final pick. Let's go through these outcomes. Any outside interference? I'm going to say no because it is a chamber match. Last to exit a chamber pod, I'm going to say the Iconics. First eliminated, Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. I don't think they're starting it first, right? Is Mandy Rose and Sonya versus Bayley and Banks? Okay, yeah. I'm still gonna say Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan are the first eliminated. What team has the most eliminations? Nia Jax and Tamina because they're the biggest people, so they're gonna try to make them look strong. Does anyone climb on top of a pod? I'm going to say yes. Maybe Bayley or Sasha Banks. Maybe Naomi. But somebody's gonna climb on top of a pod, especially it's a women's chamber match, so they want to pull out all the stops to get you excited. Does anyone? Or I already read that. Any weapons used? I'm gonna say no. Final two, the team of Nia Jax and Tamina, and the team of Sasha Banks and Bayley are gonna be the final two, with Nia Jax and Tamina getting the win. So moving on, and my thoughts on this match. This is gonna be I hate to say this, but it's gonna be a shit show. There are too many this is still like the transition period from divas to wrestlers. I think this is gonna be a botch fest, especially with how many women are in this match. Like if you go back, that the men's tag team chamber match from 2015, I think that one was full of botches. It's just too many people and not enough experience between all these people. They are so bad. Like let me see if I can give you three people that have never botched or barely botch in their matches. I'm looking at the and no, I mean Sasha Banks is known to botch as good as she is, and Bayley. I mean Bayley is the least to botch, least person to botch, but I mean come on. So they better like plan everything out, or it could be a disaster. I didn't enjoy the women's chamber match from last year, and I don't think I'm gonna enjoy this one, but we'll give it a shot. Whatever. It is to crown the first ever women's tag team championships or tag team champions. But anyway, moving on to the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber. We have Daniel Bryan defending his WWE Championship against AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, who was just added, Randy Orton, and Samoa Joe. Kofi Kingston taking Mustafa Ali's spot. And let's go through the outcomes first, and then we'll get to my winner. Any outside interference? I didn't fill this one out, but I'm gonna say no. I'll fill it out right now as we go. Uh, but this is before I put it up on the video, so that's why I'm saying. But anyway, any outside interference, I'm gonna say no. Even though Eric Rowan could probably interfere. How many pods are broken? I'm gonna say none. Samoa Joe could probably break a pod, but I think they're gonna steer away from that. Did they do it 2 years ago when it was the SmackDown only thing? I think Baron Corbin might have broke one, but I'm gonna stick with no. I think they've done it too many times in the last 2 years, so they're gonna skip it this year, and I'm fine with that. No pods will be broken. Who will be the first eliminated? I'm gonna say Samoa Joe. He's always getting the he's just getting defeated left and right and looking like a fool. So I say, and he's not gonna win the championship. So Samoa Joe is going to be the first eliminated. Who has the most eliminations? I'll say Daniel Bryan with two, and I'll get to that in a second. Does anyone climb on top of a pod? I'm going to say no because the women are going to do it, or I think the women are going to do it. Any weapons used? No. Once again, it is a chamber match. Why would you need a weapon? But this goes back to the whole outside interference. Could Eric Rowan give Daniel Bryan something to use? Maybe his belt. But I'm going to stick with no. I'm going to say no for the outside interference, no for any weapons used. And the final two, and this is why I had Daniel Bryan with the most eliminations. I think he's going to get at least two. The final two is going to be Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. And you might be saying, wow, Kofi Kingston getting this spot. You know what? I wouldn't mind. I've been talking on this channel, on my vodcast, whatever you want to call them. I've been saying, like, who's going to challenge Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania? I wouldn't mind if it was Kofi Kingston. And then, like, the New Day got a tag team title shot at WrestleMania to maybe give you the hopes that all three of them are going to win championships coming out of WrestleMania. But that's just planning for down the line. But if they want to go that way, I say give Kofi Kingston this last spot in the chamber match. Give him some sort of hope. So Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, the final two. But at the end of it, I feel Daniel Bryan is going to get the win here. A lot of real, like, kind of like lock of the century picks for most of these matches. I mean, Buddy Murphy, you could say it's a lock. Braun Strowman, you could say it's a lock. Ronda Rousey and Daniel Bryan. So four out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 out of the 7 matches you could say are locks. Maybe 5 with Shane and Miz. Maybe 6 with Lashley and Leo. And the only one that would be up in the air would be the women's tag team chamber match. You don't know which way they're gonna go because they could screw it up or they could go the right way because it is the WWE. So anyway, those are my final picks you see on the screen. Let's go through these last couple what do you call them, like outcomes or whatever, predictions, description for that. I'm gonna say nobody comes out. So if I get that, if nobody comes out, I'll get 10 points. So moving on, how many announcer tables are broken? I'm gonna say none of them because why would they? Maybe the Braun Strowman. No, I'm gonna say nobody. What is the opening match? I'm gonna say the women's chamber, just because I don't want the women's chamber to main event, especially with all the women on in that freaking match. And what I said earlier, it's gonna be a botch fest probably. And what is the main event? I'm gonna say the men's chamber main events if the women's chamber starts. So what else could they main event with really besides the men's chamber? Will there be blood? I'm gonna say yes because intentional blood happens all the time, especially in a gimmick match. So I'm saying yes for blood. So out of a possible 183 points, how many can I get? We'll find out next week when I give you another vodcast. So that's going to be it for my predictions. If you guys want to stick around, I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts on this whole Charlotte, Becky, Ronda situation and the fan reaction. Alright, so I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible, but this could go into many different directions. This is all off the cuff, just my opinions and thoughts over the last couple of days that I've been seeing this conversation going on Twitter and on social media, on YouTube and whatnot. So I'm gonna start off by saying that Charlotte is a good wrestler. I wouldn't say that she's the best on the mic. She can be a good heel, but the way that she cuts her promos are a little bit too robotic. All right, but she is a good wrestler. I'll give her that. Does she deserve to be in a big time matchup at WrestleMania? Yes, once again. Does she deserve to be in this Becky Lynch Ronda Rousey situation? I think no. This needs to be settled between Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. I'm gonna do something that I don't really do. I'm gonna go to social media and talk about other fans' opinions and what they're saying. Obviously, most people are agreeing with what I'm saying that Charlotte should be nowhere near this match. But on the other hand, I'm seeing people saying, "Stop complaining. She deserves to be in this match. She adds something to this match. The promos are gonna be better. The match itself at WrestleMania should be better. All this stuff." And you know what? I agree with everything. I agree with it. It could be a better match. I agree with the promos will be better because it's not going to be Ronda by herself against Becky. Here's the thing. Let's say at WrestleMania 14 when Stone Cold won the Rumble and was going to face Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, right? Let's say all of a sudden they suspend Stone Cold Steve Austin, one of the best talkers on the mic. So he's out a couple weeks. And they throw in The Rock, which at the time, early 1998, he was still part of the Nation of Domination doing that whole stuff. Was he better on the mic? Yes, of course he was. But was he over with the fans? I don't think so. I don't think he was over with the fans yet. Because people wanted Shamrock to take the Intercontinental Championship away from him. If you don't believe me, go back and watch that Rumble from 1998 and see the pop that Shamrock gets when he wins the championship, but then it gets overturned. Take a look at that. So they add The Rock to the match against Shawn Michaels, and they suspend Stone Cold, right? And then instead of Stone Cold versus Shawn, Stone Cold gets his moment at WrestleMania. They throw The Rock in there for Austin a pin, and Shawn Michaels goes away, and nobody gets over on Shawn Michaels. That would have made no sense, right? Because the whole point of that thing, the whole point of that match for Austin in that WrestleMania was for Austin to get over on Shawn Michaels, kind of a passing of the torch moment, if that's even a real thing. You get what I'm saying? If they would have added The Rock to that match, making it into a triple threat, and Austin pins The Rock, that moment is not as big. Sure, Austin gets the championship, and that's what we remember, but it's a bigger deal because Austin beat Shawn Michaels for the WWE for his first ever WWE championship. Now Becky Lynch has been champion before, but that's not the point. The point is that Becky Lynch needs this moment. Charlotte is already established. She said this on SmackDown, I think, that Becky Lynch was a flash in the pan or whatever. Well, this is the chance to make Becky Lynch a certified star, like Charlotte is already. Charlotte doesn't need anything. She's a 6, 7, 8-time women's champion. She's main evented. I wouldn't say multiple pay-per-views, probably like one or two. If Becky Lynch gets this win at WrestleMania against Ronda Rousey, it's a bigger deal than if she is in the match with Charlotte. And now for the people that say this is going to be better because Ronda Rousey doesn't have to carry her promos or whatever, I say this. Turn her heel. Wrestling is meant for the turns. When it is needed, you have to turn somebody. You can't keep them in the same spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, Becky Lynch went heel, right? And then the fans loved what she was doing, so organically she turned back into a face, right? But she still kept doing her stuff last year, right? So she went heel, but eventually she had to turn back face because the fans were behind her. Ronda Rousey, if you turn her heel, it would make sense for her to go against Becky, that's a face, right? And then you don't need Charlotte to add anything to say, oh, we need a heel for this match. Just turn Ronda Rousey heel. And then you're saying, well, she can't cut a promo. If only there was somebody that could be given to a wrestler who can't speak. If what has there ever been any type of maybe like a manager? I would call him like a manager. Maybe you give a manager to a wrestler who can't cut a promo. so that they can cut promos for them? Has that ever been a thing in wrestling? I have no idea, but if that's a thing, maybe you should give a manager to Ronda Rousey, right? Have her speak for Ronda against Becky. I don't care if you give Paul Heyman to Ronda Rousey. Give her somebody that can speak for her, cutting promos. Becky Lynch or Ronda Rousey doesn't have to say much. She could say like one or two sentences per Raw to get us invested into the championship match where we don't need Charlotte. And then people are saying as well, the match is going to be a lot better as a triple threat match. All right. Well, Ronda Rousey has. People are also saying that Ronda Rousey can't pull off a match against Becky Lynch. First of all, Becky Lynch has been doing this for what? How many years? Like, she's been in NXT since at least 2014, and she was wrestling before that in the Indies or whatever she was doing in Ireland. So she has experience. Ronda Rousey came in, debut match, put on a classic tag team match, intergender tag team match against Stephanie McMahon of all people and Triple H. Her debut match at WrestleMania, and then she goes on to have she had two decent matches with Nia Jax. I don't care what you say about Nia Jax. Those two matches were entertaining as fuck to watch because it was, Ronda Rousey versus this big gigantic person. Now, the only matches that I would say were not good were her TV matches and the matches against Alexa Bliss and a little bit of Nikki Bella. The one against Alexa Bliss, I don't know what is going on there. Like, they have no chemistry, but Alexa Bliss versus Ronda was never any good. The one against Nikki Bella at Evolution, that one was a little bit more entertaining, especially because you wanted to see Nikki Bella get her ass beat. The fact that it was the main event of that pay per view instead of Charlotte Becky is why fans don't really like it. That match was a lot better than I ever thought it was going to be. It was entertaining to watch. Then she had the Nia Jax match again. The match with Charlotte was decent at a Survivor Series. It was leading up to a classic until the DQ. Now you could say Charlotte has some bones to pick with Ronda Rousey for that Survivor Series match or whatever, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then she had the match against Sasha Banks, which was probably her best match at a pay per view since she debuted. Even more, actually, I would still say that WrestleMania 34 match was better. And yeah, and Becky Lynch, we all know she can go in the ring. So why are people saying that this match needs Charlotte to add something to the match at WrestleMania in a triple threat match? Ronda Rousey can go, Becky Lynch can go. Becky Lynch, make her a face. Ronda Rousey, you can keep her a heel, have her say one or two sentences. That builds itself. We still need the payoff. This brings me back to Survivor Series. Charlotte already had her match with Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. It's her fault that it ended in DQ. Becky Lynch still needs her payoff against Ronda Rousey from November. She won the Royal Rumble, and if you had the plan of adding Charlotte to this triple threat match, you should have done this a whole different way then. Here's what you do if you wanted to add Becky to the match, right? If you wanted to have a triple threat match from the beginning, like there's no possible way we're doing Becky Ronda from any point of anything. This is how you get the fans on board. Both the Charlotte haters and the Charlotte lovers would be fine with this, I'm pretty sure. At the Royal Rumble, you have Becky Lynch pass out, not tap out, pass out to the Asuka lock or whatever the hell she put on her. It was like a modified Asuka lock. But you have her pass out. A minute, 2 minutes. You have to have her in that hold for a while. That gives you a reason for Becky Lynch not to come out in the Rumble because she damn near died from the Asuka lock an hour or two earlier in the night, right? So Becky Lynch does not come out, and you have a reason why, you have an excuse why Becky Lynch didn't come out for the Rumble, right? So Charlotte wins the Royal Rumble. Asuka has the Women's Championship, but she won it by making Becky Lynch pass out. Charlotte is the Royal Rumble winner. She chooses Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, we don't see her until, let's say, the Chamber, right? At the Chamber, Charlotte is having something with Ronda Rousey. Becky Lynch comes out, and then you add her that way. Then you do at Fastlane, you do Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. The winner, or Becky Lynch, gets added to the WrestleMania match if she wins, and then you have Becky Lynch win that match, and then she is the one that gets added to the Mania match. I don't think anybody would have had a problem with it. The way that they're doing it, because they want Charlotte to be involved, they should have had Charlotte involved in the first place. Becky Lynch should have been out of the title picture, and then you add her at the last minute. The way that they did it, and especially how they've been booking Becky Lynch to look so bad, so weak, just makes it look even worse. She's suspended? Why would you suspend the hottest thing going for your company right now? And then she doesn't even come out on SmackDown to attack anybody. But last week when she was suspended, she came out. It makes no sense. People are saying as well, give us some time, and it's all gonna play out. You're gonna enjoy it. Oh, okay, yeah, I understand that. I can give it time to play out, but the fact that WWE has been this shit show for the last 3 to 4 years gives me no hope that they're gonna fix it. Something else that they could have done on Raw for McMahon to put Charlotte in this, he could have said stuff about the Rumble. He could have brought the Rumble into it to make the storyline play out a little bit more, a little bit better. So, for example, Becky Lynch, you're suspended. Or not even that. How about this? How about she, with the whole apology stuff, instead of having Becky Lynch actually apologize when she was running Triple H and Stephanie McMahon down at the beginning of the show, Vince McMahon should have come out then and said, you know what, I'm tired of this. You think you're better than this. You think you're bigger than the WWE. You're not the man. I'm the man. You're suspended. And throw away the whole apology storyline. As soon as Becky Lynch started running down Triple H and Stephanie from the beginning of the show, Vince should have came out and suspended her right there on the spot, instead of at the end when she did what Triple H and Stephanie McMahon asked of her. Because if you start off the night with Becky Lynch talking trash, that gives Vince McMahon a reason to say, you know what, you're talking all this shit. You know what, you're suspended, 60 days. That's after WrestleMania. So at the end of the night, I'm gonna bring out a new contender. That's how you bring out Charlotte, and you have this whole explanation of the reason why I chose Charlotte is because she was the runner-up in the Rumble. According to the rule book, remember in 1999, when Vince McMahon won the Rumble and Austin was the runner-up, McMahon refused to refused his title shot because he was going to face it against The Rock, and why would he want to do that? Part of the corporation and stuff. So McMahon dropped his Royal Rumble win. He said, "You know what? I don't want it. The Rock is going to have a night off, or I'm going to find a different competitor for him to face." But then Shawn Michaels, the commissioner, came out and said, according to the rule book, McMahon, the runner-up of the Royal Rumble, if the winner refuses to have a shot or is incapable, the runner-up gets the title shot. So you could have brought that into the mix as well. The reason why, at the end, Becky Lynch already been suspended, and we've been building up this anticipation for the end of the night. Who is he going to call out? Of course, we would already know that it was going to be Charlotte, but still, Vince McMahon comes out. So, since the winner of the Royal Rumble couldn't make it at WrestleMania, the runner-up is going to take her spot, and that runner-up is Charlotte Flair. Gives her the right kind of heat, not just because she was thrown in there, awarded this championship match, but because if you think about it, you would have been like, I hate it, but he kind of makes sense because the runner-up was Charlotte. So let's see how this goes. There are a million ways that they could have played this. Now, would I have been fine with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda in a triple threat match at WrestleMania? Yes. Any ways that I mentioned earlier. If you had Becky at the end, if you have Charlotte come out because Vince suspended Becky before she apologized and then said she was the runner-up, so that's why she is taking the title shot from Becky because she couldn't compete because she was suspended for 60 days. You could have done that, or add Becky instead of adding Charlotte. Having Charlotte win the Rumble, taking on Ronda, and then Becky gets added at the last minute instead of Charlotte being the one added. But at the end of the day, I still think it should be a Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch main event. For it to be the first ever women, if it is the first ever women's main event, whether it's a triple threat, I feel like it should be a one-on-one match between two females that hate each other. You could have played the storyline a lot better to make them hate each other. I mean, Survivor Series, everybody was freaking hyped for that match. You could have done the same thing. What are your thoughts on this whole Charlotte situation? Do you guys agree with what I'm saying, where they could have made it work out depending on how they told the storyline? Or are you just set on it should have been Becky Ronda from the beginning and that's how it should be? I don't understand why Charlotte Flair and I'm pretty sure Becky Lynch, deep down, has to be like, you know what? Fuck this company. As close of friends as her and Charlotte might be, deep down, like you guys have those friends or those coworkers that you're close with, right? But if they get a promotion first, and I've been there, if they get a promotion before you, or they get a raise before you, you're like, wait, what? Like, sure, I haven't been, even if you haven't been as good as them, you're still a little jealous, and you're still a little like flustered why they get the raise, they get the promotion before you do, right? Even as close as friends as you are, deep down you have this little like feeling like I do not like you for getting that promotion first before me. I do not think fans have a problem with Charlotte being added to the match. I think fans have a problem with the way that they did it. Either way, however they do this, at the end of the day, I still think it should be Becky versus Ronda because Becky needs her moment. Like Charlotte said on SmackDown, she called Becky Lynch a flash in the pan or the flavor of the month or something like that. But this is how you make new stars. Becky Lynch should get the one-on-one payoff against Ronda Rousey for the championship, making her a big star. For everybody saying that people are surprised, why are we surprised that Charlotte was added to this match? I don't think anybody is surprised. Maybe like 1% of everybody that's complaining about Charlotte. 1% didn't see this coming. For the most part, everybody saw that Charlotte was going to be added. Sure, we didn't want it, but we all kind of saw it, right? Our problem is that they could have had this triple threat storyline play out a lot better than the way they did it. WWE does not think of the big picture when they're making these kind of decisions because they need to tell storylines in a way that captivates the fans to want to hate the person for the right reasons, not because we think they're the chosen one backstage. Why is that a debate for people to have? That should not be part of my storyline that, oh, she's the chosen one because the backstage people want her to be there. No, that should not be that. I don't say this is a good one. I don't say, oh, they're giving Toby from The Office all these lines because I don't even know who the creator of The Office is, but because the creator of The Office loves Toby and they don't want to see Jim succeed, so they're giving Toby all these lines to get over on Jim, right? Nobody is saying that. They're saying, "Oh, we hate Toby because he's a freaking because the writers do a good job to make him hateable, right?" And that's what WWE has to do. They have to stop making the fans hate people because of what they think is going on backstage. They need to hate them for their character that they are portraying on TV. For all the people saying that they don't want Charlotte in the match because she doesn't deserve it, no, she does deserve it. She just went about it the wrong way. They went about it the wrong way. We could have been fine with it if they told a good storyline. This all stems from the whole storyline aspect of things, right? So at the end of it, we should not be mad at Charlotte. We should not be mad at Becky. We should not be mad at Ronda Rousey. This is all Vince McMahon's fault because, as we know, he is the head writer or he is the man in charge. He does have um, final say, as we have heard from multiple people that have worked for him. So next time he comes out, boo the fuck out of him or make absolutely no noise. Sure, he's given us all this great content from previous years that make you say, oh, he's a genius, he's a god, I love him. But what have you done for me lately? Absolutely nothing. Donald Trump, I know this is a touchy subject, but Donald Trump, before he was ever in contention for running for president or whatever, people didn't mind him. They loved what he did in the entertainment world, or not, at least not loved, but was fascinated by his stuff. But then after he became president, everybody hated him, and we show that now, right? So why the hell are we still thinking about Vince McMahon from the past when all he's done recently is give us shit? So next time he comes out, boo the fuck out of him. Don't make any noise. Chant at the top of your lungs what you're actually feeling. Stop giving him praise. He doesn't deserve praise right now. If anything, I know he's an old man. I know nobody should be hating on this old man or wanting him to die, but he is completely, actually, out of his mind. There is no reason why the Attitude Era was good, the Ruthless Aggression was decent, the Golden Era was decent, and the CM Punk era even. When CM Punk and Daniel Bryan were coming up, CM Punk, the whole CM Punk stuff, they were still telling decent storylines, getting people over. Now, it makes no sense that this many people are complaining about one thing, right? There has to be a reason, and it's the storyline, the storytelling, the writing, the booking. So, at the end of it, it's going to be a triple threat match. We have to get used to it. Do we have to like it? No. But if they told a better storyline, we could learn to love it. As of now, I don't have any faith in them giving us a compelling storyline. I still think it should be just Becky versus Ronda at WrestleMania for the Women's Championship. You can't change my mind unless they were to tell a better storyline by adding Charlotte. So I'm going to end it on that. Thanks for watching if you stuck with me all the way through. See y'all next time. I'm out.